decided to make an executive decision to invest in an iPad. So keep watching this video to get some tips on how to know which iPad caters to your needs. Hey girl, hey, if you've never seen my face before, hi, my name is Isabel Antoine. If you have, welcome back, sister. In today's video, I'm basically going to give you guys the ultimate buying guide when it comes to an iPad. I have relatively amazing experience with iPads because I've had all four. I've had an iPad mini, an iPad Air, a 10th gen iPad, and an iPad Pro. I've had all the models, but they were older models, so I'm not really too familiar with like the kinks and stuff of the new ones, but you guys can watch other unboxing videos on YouTube and views and all that stuff. But this is just a buyer's guide, so you guys can kind of figure out what is it that you need from such a powerful Apple device. I'm not gonna say tablet because we spend too much money to be calling these iPads tablets. So let's get started. So now we're starting off with the iPad 11th generation, but I only have the 10th generation, which is okay because they're almost the same, except the 11th gen has a faster processor. I don't feel like this is slow. And I've tried the other one in the store. It's just a smidge faster. It's not like, wow, lightning speed. It's just a smidge faster. Like I was telling you guys, the iPad, regular iPad is geared towards people who like to stream shows, play games, color, just do the basic everyday wants and necessities on it. This iPad is perfect. The 11th gen iPad starts off at $349 for the 128 gigabyte, and it goes all the way to $649 for the 512. This is the 10th gen iPad. It's yellow, it's a 64 gig, and it's the Wi-Fi only model. Even with 64 gigabytes, I still have space left over because I literally just do what I said I'm gonna do on these iPads. As for the Apple Pencil that does work with the A16 iPad is the USB-C Apple Pencil. You just plug it in, just get your charger, plug it into the pencil, and then plug the other end of the charger to your iPad. And it also works with the first gen Apple Pencil, which I have here. I've had this pencil for about 5 years. Grab the pencil and you have to use an adapter to connect it because, you know, everything in Apple is now USB-C. There's literally no lightning connectors anymore. So you connect connect it to the bottom end, plug your pencil, and then plug the pencil into the, not the pencil, but plug the cord into the iPad, and it will connect. I decided to omit this because that's too much work, so I just got a generic Apple Pencil from TikTok Shop where you just turn the button on, and I don't know if you can see it because of it's on, the white light is on, and it works, see? And I also got it because it matches my iPad perfectly. Just look at that. You even barely see where it's at, but it's okay. I'm also going to stress you guys a lot through this video about AppleCare. Please, for the love of God, y'all be coming on TikTok with these chewed ass iPads, and I know you didn't get AppleCare. I honestly used to on AppleCare. I on AppleCare so bad because I'm like, okay, what if I got, you know, AppleCare, not AppleCare, but insurance through my carrier? That's cool. You can get insurance through your carrier when it comes to the phone, but for your iPads, unless you bought them from the carrier itself, they don't come with insurance unless you add it. So I'm going to stress y'all the hell out. I currently pay $349 every month for my AppleCare for my iPad. I have AppleCare on 4 devices. I have it on my phone, my AirPods Pro, my iPad 10th generation, and then my iPad Pro. All of them has AppleCare except my AppleCare for my AirPods Pro was $29 for 2 years. That's gonna expire next year. I don't know if I could renew it because I really want to, but everything else, the other 3 that I have for my phone, my iPad 10th generation, my iPad Pro, I pay that monthly. I'm going to stress y'all out about it. Get that AppleCare. You investing so much money, just pay the $349 every month or however much it is. I promise y'all not gonna pay no more than like $14 for AppleCare. That's if you have the iPhone and you get theft plus loss, that's gonna come up to about $14. But with the iPads, they're no more than $8 a month. Why not get that extra sense of safety and security? Like, let's say your iPad falls out of nowhere and it just cracked. Apple will tell you it's gonna cost like $400 to fix because that's what happened to me with my iPad Air that I had. It cracked in 6 places. Like, it was under the screen protector, but it cracked in 6 places. Luckily, I had AppleCare. I took it to the Apple store. This whole video is on my YouTube channel. You have to go back into 2023. I don't have that many videos. I have like, will be my 24th video. To go back to my videos in 2023, it's my monthly reset for October. I took my iPad to the Apple store. If I didn't have AppleCare, I would have paid $499 to fix that cracked screen. But I didn't. I paid $53 after tax because I had AppleCare. AppleCare, when you get an Apple Pencil with your iPad, AppleCare also covers the Apple Pencil. Child, this is the Apple Pencil for my iPad Pro. This pencil this is my 3rd Apple Pencil. The first one broke, like the tip broke and it stopped working. The second one I think it just stopped working working regardless. This is my third one and it's been holding up perfectly fine. And when I tell y'all, if I didn't have AppleCare, I'll be walking around with a cracked iPad like everybody else on TikTok. And also with the screen protector, I do recommend getting a matte finish screen protector, which is what I have. I have matte screen protectors on everything. I have it on my content phone. I have it on my iPad Pro as well. I don't know if I mentioned the iPad 11th generation comes in 4 colors. I feel like I get so carried away talking about things that I feel like that are important when it comes to purchasing Apple devices. I forget my train of thought. But the iPad 11th generation comes in 4 colors: blue, pink, yellow, silver, just like the 10th generation. I clearly have the yellow. Yellow's my favorite color. Love yellow down. But I feel like, and this is just me, I feel like the girls with the blue and pink iPads are bullies, especially on TikTok. I feel like they're like the popular girls in school, the blue and pink iPad. Silver one is kind of the quirky, earthy girl, and then the yellow iPad is like the lone wolf, the loner. Some accessories that I feel like you should have with your 11th gen iPad is a folio case. This was a TikTok shop sample that I got from Fintai. I will link everything down below, and these are affiliate links. You can buy it off of TikTok or Amazon. I will link both of them, but both of them will be affiliate links, so I get a small commission if you do buy from them. Just a basic folio case. Everyone obviously gets the ones that match their iPad because it's just so cute and so seamless to just have one color instead of different colors clashing with your eyes, because these are pretty bright iPads, especially except for the silver one, but this yellow one is really bright, so it's just better to just get a case that matches it. It'll just sit up like this. You can have it sit like this, or you can lay it down however you want it, and you have a slot for the pencil, and it just has this clear back so you can see the back of the iPad. The next case I feel like everyone should have, specifically if you don't have a MacBook, is a keyboard case. Now I got this as a sample from TikTok shop as well, from Typecase. This is their, I think their Flexbook 7 or something like that. This one doesn't have a trackpad on it, so I will use a Bluetooth mouse, but they did come out with one that has a trackpad. It's just like, I think $5 more. But if you guys are fine with just having this and then having a Bluetooth mouse to the side, that's perfectly fine. But I do recommend everyone gets it. It does turn 360. You could lay it flat like this. The iPad will sit here. You could lay it like this to watch your shows. You could turn it around, type, do all this stuff. And there's a little slot for your Apple Pencil, and it charges with a USB-C charger that comes with in case. I also, like I told you guys, I use my iPad for Bible study, so I whip this out when I gotta put some extra notes when I'm doing Bible study. I'm not saying it's useless for me because I do most of my typing on my iPad Pro, but that's the only reason why I use it. But I love it, honestly. And I have a video on my TikTok of me like testing out this case. I really do love it. It's honestly, I feel like it's better than the Magic Keyboard Folio case that they come with the iPads, because I feel like that one's just too much. It's just too much hardware. They need to make something better for the regular iPads, but to each its own. You can also spend the $249 and get the Magic Keyboard case if you want to. I just feel like you shouldn't. Just get a generic and be done. But I do recommend getting Apple Pencil sleeves. I do have one for my first gen, but it's somewhere in my room and I did not feel like looking for it. Also get nibs, like the little nib protectors. I have some, but I don't know where they are. Get some nib protectors to put on because the pencils wear down. And I think they're $20 for a pack of 4 at Apple to replace it. And they just twist off very easily. When you run it down, just twist off like this. When you run it down, they just twist off like that. And then you could just twist it back on, and then you're ready to write again. And I also recommend a carrying sleeve or a satchel. That's exactly how my iPad Air cracked, being smushed and smacked against my MacBook and my Nintendo Switch when I carry it in my bag. So I do recommend getting a sleeve for your iPad. You get a cute one. They have them on Etsy. They have them on Amazon, but the cute ones are on Etsy because they're handmade. Now for the A17 iPad mini, I personally don't have one. I was thinking about investing in one, but I feel like it gets to a point where it's like, you gotta tell yourself, like, that's enough iPads. Like, I have an iPad Pro, I have a 10th gen iPad. Where's it gonna stop? And every time like I'm on TikTok, and TikTok is the reason why I keep thinking about buying new Apple devices. Everybody else just makes theirs look so cute, and I feel like mine's look plain. But if you guys want I already have a what's on my iPad 10th generation on my channel. If you guys want to see what's on my iPad Pro, just comment down below. I feel like TikTok just influenced me to buy things, and that's my problem. But anyways, that's just the iPad for someone who really just wants to be real discreet, very minimal, don't want nothing flashy. And I think if your pockets are large enough, you can literally put the iPad in your pocket. Do I recommend that? No. But pockets big enough, shove it in your pocket. They also use the iPad as a Kindle because a lot of people have been like shelling away from the Kindles, especially since the new ones came out. I don't know why. I have a Kindle and I love my Kindle for being a Kindle, and I can't do nothing else on my Kindle but read. I rather just have a Kindle and an iPad separate because I don't know how to differentiate nothing, which is why I have two iPads. I don't know how to separate nothing. If it's time to read, I'm gonna be scrolling on Pinterest. So I'd rather just have my Kindle and my iPad separate, but the girls like to mix the two and they can handle mixing the two. The girls practically deck out their iPads, make it look like Kindles. They also get pop sockets. I do recommend getting a pop socket for that. If you're using it to read, get a pop socket because Kindles are lighter in weight compared to iPads, clearly, by a long shot. But just so you can have something, or get the Kindle straps to fit onto the iPad. But same thing with the iPad, I recommend getting a matte screen protector, a good folio case, Apple Pencil accessories. Get that AppleCare. Don't think I forgot. The A17 iPad comes in 4 colors: space gray, blue, purple, starlight. I kind of like the starlight. Am I giving up the space gray aesthetic? Hope not, because I love my space gray devices. The price point starts off at $499 with the 128 gigabyte, and it goes all the way to $512 for $799. And the Apple Pencil Pro and the Apple Pencil USB-C does work with these two. And like I said, decorate them because you're gonna be with that device for a while. Make it yours. If you're just someone who's interested in just having small portability, just slip it anywhere, slip it in your jacket pocket, whatever. Want to have like a little e-reader, but have more stuff to do besides read on it, get that iPad. Who knows? I might be unboxing an iPad mini on this channel. Next iPad is the M3 iPad Air 6th generation, where everything began with no home button. This was my first iPad with no home button because the 4th generation iPad Air had no home button. The M3 iPad Air starts off at $599 for the 11-inch, $799 for the 13-inch, and it goes all the way to 1 terabyte at $1099 for the 11-inch and $1299 for the 13-inch. It comes in 4 colors, same as the iPad mini: space gray, blue, purple, starlight. Get that AppleCare! Get the AppleCare, please! And it supports the Apple Pencil Pro and the Apple Pencil USB-C. The iPad Air, I do suggest getting a really good folio case, especially if you're gonna do school. Get a ESR iPad case. I know y'all be seeing them TikToks of the girls taking the iPads apart and they still have a case on it with the folio separated. That is an ESR case. I will link it down below. It is not an affiliate link, so don't worry. ESR, if you see this video, please, brother, please let me work with you. But yeah, all jokes aside, I do definitely recommend getting a folio case, but the one that separates, and a keyboard case, because if you're doing school and you don't have a MacBook, the iPad Air is a perfect equivalent to the MacBook Air, which is perfect for students. And also, if you do digital design or digital art, ESR folio case is also perfect for that as well. One thing I forgot to mention is if you use headphones. I know everybody most likely 9 times out of 10 use AirPods. We all have AirPods, I'm assuming. But if you're still a wire girly down, I suggest investing in a pair of Apple earphones. One with the USB-C connector, like the actual headphones with the USB-C end. They're like $20. Obviously, if you want to get the jack and the adapter, it's gonna equal about the same. I think the one with the audio jack is like $15, and then the adapter is like $7, $8. I could be wrong. Don't quote me on it, but I don't even think Apple sell the adapters anymore because they have earphones for each device. They have the 3.5 millimeter audio jack, the lightning connector, and the USB-C connector, so it fits literally all devices, old and yeah. I have the adapters, and I also have 2 of the earphones. I have the 3.5 millimeter audio jack, and I also have the lightning connector because my iPhone, both my iPhones are still lightning. Yes, I have a low income phone, but I don't got no low income iPad, period. Now we're off to the M4 iPad Pro 7th generation. I currently own the M2 iPad Pro 6th generation in 12.9. This iPad cost me about, I got it for a band even, because I bought it during tax-free week for Apple. This was back in 2024. I got it on New Year's Day because this was on my vision board for 2024, and I actually completed my vision board for 2024. The reason why everyone calls this iPad the overkill iPad, because they feel like it's not wow, pizzazz, amazing for the price. I wholeheartedly believe because anything you feel like you can do on an iPad Pro, you could do it on an Air. Especially now, you could do it on an Air. But if you're really one of those people who have jobs where they're they're like really serious professional jobs and they require like the best of the best tech, get that iPad Pro for your job. People who do digital design as a career or for school, iPad Pro is perfect because the processor can handle long drawing hours, usage hours. The battery on the iPad Pro is amazing. I'm not even gonna hold you. It is for me, at least for me, it's amazing. The only difference I see with the iPad Pro and the iPad Air is the texture. Obviously the processor, because the iPad Air has an M3 and the iPad Pro has an M4. The iPad Pro does have Face ID, so no Touch ID on the iPad Pro. It's only Face ID, which is amazing because I literally just have to look at it and it opens. And the glass, because now the M4 iPad Pros come with either standard or nano texture. Nano texture usually adds on about $100 depending on what size you get. The iPad Pro starts off at $999 for the 11-inch and $1299 for the 13-inch. And it goes all the way to 2 terabytes. For the 11-inch, it'll be $1999, and for the 13-inch, it'll be $2299. If you do want to add the nano texture glass, it's only available in the 1 terabyte and 2 terabyte models. The 1 terabyte model with nano texture starts off at $1699 for the 11-inch and $1999 for the 13-inch. The 2 terabyte models with the nano texture glass starts at $2099 for the 11-inch and $2399 for the 13-inch. And with the Pros, you know you don't get any color options. Really, it's only the 2 basic colors, space black and silver. Get the AppleCare! And the Apple Pencils that do work with the iPad Pro is the Apple Pencil Pro and the Apple Pencil USB-C model. With this iPad, if you do want to invest in an iPad Pro, I feel like an iPad Pro is about the same investment as a MacBook, since they roughly cost about the same. If not, I feel like iPad Pros cost more than MacBooks, so at that point, y'all would just buy a MacBook for some accessories. I feel like you should get for this iPad, same as the iPad Air, a folio case, a folio ESR case. Basically, if you just color or do like digital design or digital art, you need that ESR case because it just has better like options to how to fold it. A MagSafe keyboard case. This is a generic one I got from TikTok Shop as a sample. It has a trackpad. Love her down. I'll link it down below. It doesn't have the name on it. It just says product name magnetic wireless keyboard case. That's all it says on the engraving. And mine just sit on it because it is MagSafe. And it just sits like this. On this iPad, I only do strictly for content creation. This is my work iPad. I plan on Notion. I use GoodNotes. I edit some of my vertical content. That's for both my TikTok accounts, my main TikTok and my UGC account. I look at my YouTube analytics when I do channel audits. I just like having something portable. It is quite hefty. I'm not even gonna lie to you, especially the bigger iPad models like the 13-inch Air and the 13-inch Pro, they are pretty heavy when you add a case on it, but it gives that weight of a MacBook Air. I think my MacBook Air is probably about the same weight as the iPad Air. Make sure you get a matte screen protector if you're gonna write on it. Unfortunately, I don't think they make carrying sleeves for these sizes because these are as big as a MacBook, so you would use a MacBook sleeve to carry this around, but they're not wide enough to be a MacBook. MacBooks are still wider. You can try to scour the internet to find an iPad sleeve for the Pro, the bigger Pros and the bigger Airs, but most iPad sleeves stop at 11 inches. I do want to talk about other options of iPad models. Apple just discontinued this iPad. It is the 9th gen iPad, which has the home button. It works with the 1st gen Apple Pencil, and this time you could just stick it into the iPad directly because it still has a lightning connector. Apple currently doesn't sell it anymore. Apple discontinued the 9th gen iPad because they came out with the A16 11th gen iPad, so they didn't see the need to have 2 iPads on there, so they obviously discontinued it and replaced the 10th gen with the 11th gen iPad. You can still buy these iPads 9 times out of 10. They are refurbished. You could buy them brand new. You could buy them from Amazon. You could buy them from eBay. You could buy them from Walmart. Configurations for these iPads, it goes from 64 to 256 gigabyte, and it has 2 colors, space gray and silver. For the refurbished models, they can go from $205 to about say $250. And if you want anything new, it's still gonna be in that $300 price mark. But I'm just gonna say between $205 and $360 for these iPads, because you know people like to tax because these devices are not being sold anymore. If you guys have iPads, you want to trade back and forth, do recommend going on Apple's website, picking the iPad that you want and seeing how much they're gonna give it to you for, or go in the Apple store, let them run a diagnosis on it. If it's perfect, they'll give you a gift card for it, and you can use that gift card towards the purchase of your new iPad. That's what I did. I turned in my iPad mini. They gave me $120 for it. That thing sat in a case for 5 years. No cuts, no scratches, no scuffs. It was literally brand new. So I'm going to use that $120 gift card towards my new Apple Watch because it's about time to get a new Apple Watch. And she doesn't update. She's super old. The battery's shot. She's literally on my wrist for decoration. So if you do have Apple devices that you want to trade in, you have the option to do that. Another thing is, I know a lot of people like to engrave their devices. Apple says it doesn't, I guess, go against your trade. I mean, like, they're not gonna penalize you for having it laser etched, because I'm pretty sure they have a machine where they could just take it off and resell it. But I never got my devices laser etched because I know at some point I'm going to either give it to the next person, whether it's my boyfriend or my mom or my nephew or whoever, or I'm gonna give it back. So I'd rather just give it back to them, give it to them the way they gave it to me, you know? I would never recommend engraving your Apple devices just to keep that sleek look, but if that's something you're gonna ride with till the wheels fall off and you're not gonna trade it in, by all means, engrave it. So what we talked about today was your different choices of iPads. For your iPad to work for you, its features, its specs, and everything has to cater to you. If you need something basic, super basic, go with an iPad 11th generation. Something portable and small, you could just take with you on the go, throw it in your purse. A 17 iPad mini. Or if you're a creative student where you do digital design and digital art, go with the iPad Air. If you're a professional where your job requires the best of the best tech, overkill you might want to say, go with an iPad Pro. And don't forget to get that damn AppleCare. I'm not playing with you. Get the AppleCare. And this is where this video ends. Thank you guys so much for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe. We're trying to reach 150 subscribers by July 1st. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.